Hello again, welcome to True Rhymes, the place where we find out what rhymes are really about. Tonight we're going to have a look at Peter Punkum-Eater. Now, I don't know about you, but this rhyme is not necessarily about eating pumpkin soup. So if it's not about eating soup, let's find out what it is about. Shall we read the rhyme? Peter Punkum-Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. Put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Peter Punkum-Eater had another and didn't love her. Peter learned to read and spell, and then he loved her very well. Oh, doesn't that sound lovely? I don't know, don't you love the way we try to modernise things? I'm pretty sure a teacher might have penned some of those words, but you know what? Not that I'm against learning to read and write, because the original version is just a little bit more messed up than learning to read and write. Here we go, let's have a listen to what it really said. Peter Punkum-Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a pumpkin shell, and there he kept her very well. Peter Punkum-Eater had another but didn't love her, so up the chimney he did shove her. Not a friendly bloke, this Peter. Now, Pete was not a bloomin' angry king or some lost lord from the darkness, and his wasn't for the fact that he was poor that he couldn't keep his wife. His wife was not satisfied in the bedroom, or perhaps she was a lady of the night, I'm not sure. Either way, it was her right to choose however she wanted to live. Pete was not impressed though, because apparently they'd said some vows that they were sworn to each other, and he thought that was actually for real, but it was actually crap. Anyway, one night Pete decides that he's had enough of this. He's had enough of being married to a wayward woman. So he bloomin' takes matters into his own hand and murders the poor lass. I mean, I don't know anything about nothing, but I tell you what, perhaps today's idea is much better. If your woman or your husband's being a little bit promiscuous, you can at least just separate or get divorced and move on to the next bloomin' body that you're going to sleep with. Anyway, that was not the case in this little rhyme. Pete's murdered his wife, and then he decides he's going to put her in a pumpkin shell. My lord, unless the girl was a midget, I don't think the pumpkin shell was going to be that big, so I'm sure a bit of dismemberment was involved. So it could be said that Peter, in this situation, has kept his wife very well in the pumpkin shell. But I don't know, I reckon the wife might have had another version of events if she could actually still talk. But, yeah, hell, rhymes are a weird little thing. They were just trying to make it. I'm hoping they were trying to make the point that you shouldn't murder your wife. According to our rhyme, it would appear Pete has not learnt any lessons with his second wife, because it says there that he didn't love her, so I'm guessing that maybe she didn't know what needed to happen between the sheets in the bedroom, or perhaps Pete's just a miserable prick. Anyway, it says that he got bloody upset with her and shoved her up the chimney. I mean, hell, I guess maybe it was not pumpkin season, so he didn't have anywhere to put her. Of course, as rhymes developed through the eons, they're all, well, not all of them, but quite a lot of them are built on top of each other. So I think Peter Punkum-Eater was built on Impy Wimpy, but I think you'll have to look that up because I can't remember exactly what the pronunciation is because I suck at pronunciation. I'm a bit like that kid on the ad. But anyway, I was reading somewhere the other day that the divorce rate's drifting towards about 50% at the minute, which is pretty sad, you know, that we can't even figure it out and stay together and work through our problems. But hell, I'm thinking it's better than if you know what, if you're married to an abusive husband who's likely to stick you in a pumpkin or shove you up a chimney, perhaps you should bugger off out of that situation. And Pete, calm the fuck down. Hell, well, if you're not having nightmares about roast pumpkin, it'll be a bloody miracle. I'm thinking it's a little bit of a bloody worry. There's the things that goes on through history in these rhymes. At least I didn't write the rhymes. I'm just reading them and researching them. So, whoo-wee, tell you what, mind you, my final thought is, if you come home and you happen to find some giant pumpkins growing in your backyard, perhaps you should have a look at your partner and just make a bit of a decision as to whether you want to hang around or not. Could be a red flag. Time to bugger off. Well, look at that. We've made it to the end of another show. We're all part of the team here at the True Rhymes Show, and your part to play in being a team is, don't forget, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the share button if there is a share button, or hell, just share it, I don't know. And if you're really having a good time, well, hell, even if you're not really having a good time, but you might even just be feeling sorry for me, perhaps consider being on the Patreon support page.